People create processes and processes create profit. If you don't have processes in your business, it is going to be very difficult for you to generate profits. And so I'll say it one more time and I'll break it down this way is that the people in your organization are supposed to be there to either create or to follow the processes that are created within your firm. All right. So, one of the big things that tends to happen in the month of September is a holiday called Labor Day. Now, I'm going to spare you the history lesson on where Labor Day came from or the story behind Labor Day, but I'm just going to talk about the reality for law firms. When it comes down to holidays, law firms often struggle to still be able to effectively support their clients because what I see time and time again is when holidays come around, either the staff is still working frantically and they don't actually get to enjoy the holiday, or the partners are in there working, trying to fill in the gap. And I think it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. The firms that I have seen to be more effective and more successful to where the staff and the partners can actually enjoy their holidays are situations where those firms have really good systems in place. See, here's the thing, these holidays that come up, they are not a complete surprise. We know the holidays are coming up before they happen. For the most part, we can just look at a calendar and we can start to look out and just say, hey, we know that holidays are going to be coming up. We know there's a holiday in September. We know that people are going to be off. So the question we should be asking ourselves is, all right, what systems or what processes do we need to put in place so that when the holiday comes, everything doesn't fall apart? Or we can think about it where people are going to go on vacation or people are going to travel. The question we should be asking is, what systems do we have in place to make sure things at our firm do not fall apart? So here's what I would suggest that you look into for your firm. One is make a clear kind of calendar of what are the times or the major holidays, or what are the kind of major times where we won't have staff or our team in office or our team working those days. If you know what those are, then you can start to ask yourself important questions like, how are we going to communicate to our clients that we are not open those days? Or how are we going to get necessary information to people if they happen to call in on those days, or if people try to stop by on those days? Like, really start thinking about that stuff ahead of time and say, how do we put those plans in place so that we are not caught by surprise when they finally happen? Now, another thing you want to do is you also want to think about on the financial side is when your office is going to be closed, that means your firm is not going to be generating revenue those days. So you also want to plan ahead financially to say that, hey, during the holiday, I'm still going to have to pay my staff, but how can we make sure that there's enough money in the bank account that our firm doesn't just completely collapse, or our bank account doesn't drop so low because everybody's not working that day? Or let's say if people are going to be on vacation, you need to do some type of cash flow planning just to make sure that we're setting aside enough cash to get us through some of those things. And that's all part of the process of building a system. Because here's something that I always tell my firm and the staff in my firm, or when I'm talking to law firm owners, here's what I tell them is that, you know what, people create processes and processes create profit. If you don't have processes in your business, it is going to be very difficult for you to generate profits. And so I'll say it one more time and I'll break it down this way is that the people in your organization are supposed to be there to either create or to follow the processes that are created within your firm. Because if you're solely just relying on people or you're throwing bodies at problems, you're not going to actually generate the type of profit that your firm should. So, with your people, work with them to either create or to get them to follow the processes that have been created. And then those processes, no matter who's in office or out of office, those processes, when they are designed well in a functioning system, those processes will continue to run. And eventually, what it will do is it will help your firm generate more profit. So if you haven't worked on your systems, I think now is a great time for you to start thinking about what systems do you need to have in place so that your firm can continue to operate efficiently and effectively, and you can generate the types of profit that you should have in your firm. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Law Firm and Finance Show, where we give you great content that helps you build a more successful law firm. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on all platforms and follow us for more content.